We're on. It's ready for James. Please all rise for pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Alderman Bocart. Alderman Blank.
Here.
Alderwoman Ode.
Here.
Alderwoman Bell.
Here.
Alderman Wilson. Here. And Alderman Lewis.
Here.
Can I get a motion of approval of October 3rd, 2023 meeting minutes, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You gonna walk straight, Darla?
I just picked one. You're pretty close.
All right, special items, I see none. Appointments to boards and commissions, Farron Griffin be appointed to the Park and Recreation Board. Comments, please?
Yep, we had a vacancy on the park board, vacated by Brian Sapp at their meeting last week. So the mayor's recommendation is appoint Farron Griffin, who applied for that spot. She would be appointed to fill the remainder of Brian's term, which expires April 2025.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the appointment?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Blank?
Aye.
Alderwoman Ode?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
We're going to schedule public comments. I see none. Just a reminder, all public comments may be received by the city clerk the Wednesday before the meeting date. Public hearing none. We'll move on to introductions and first readings. Council Bill number 2023-033, an ordinance approving Liberty Square subdivision plat. Staff report, please.
All right, this is a report regarding a request for approval of a replat for the proposed minor subdivision to be known as Liberty Square. The owner of the property is Larkin Powers. The submitting firm is Engineering Surveys and Services. Christina Lubert of Lubert Engineering performed the review on behalf of the city. This site is approximately 9.07 acres in size. This parcel. This is on the south side of East Liberty Lane, just west of 63. This is zoned light industrial. And the intent of this tract split is to allow for easier development, and or if desired, the owner would have the ability to sell lot 2. Lot 1 will be approximately 4.89 acres, and lot 2 will be approximately 3.67. There is a 50-foot access easement between lot 1 and 2 to access the parcel to the south. This is to replace the existing drive on the east side of lot 2. The existing access easement on the west side of lot 1 will be abandoned. However, the 20-foot sewer easement will remain. There is a site plan for lot 1 on the agenda tonight. After consideration, staff recommends approval of the replat creating the Liberty Square subdivision, as it appears to have met the intended requirements of the city code. And this was recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission on October 10th.
Any questions for staff? No concerns from P&Z, you said, correct? Good. Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2023-033, an ordinance approving the Liberty Square subdivision plat?
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Ode?
Aye.
And Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Moving on, Council Bill number 2023-034, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Phase 1.
Just a quick report on these. So as you will recall, we took the first read of the Forest Park Phase 2A final plat a few meetings ago. The requirement was that we get some things buttoned up as in regards to infrastructure before we would approve that second reading. So you have before you the next two items, which are both gonna be warranty agreements for the infrastructure in both phase one and then the infrastructure in phase 2A. In addition to that, part of the infrastructure in phase one, there's still some lingering issues on streets and storms, so we are in receipt of an appropriate bond in an amount of $25,000 to remediate those last few lingering issues, at which point we'll come back and accept that infrastructure as public infrastructure. Developer has been working diligently with the city to resolve those issues, so we don't have any issues at this point. You have staff recommendation to approve both warranty agreements and accept the aforementioned infrastructure that's included within those ordinances.
Any questions for staff? Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2023-034, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Phase 1?
That motion?
Have a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderwoman Ode?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Council Bill number 2023?
Yeah, 2023.
Okay, 2023-035, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Phase 2A.
Again, no change on that from the last report. Just warranty agreement so we can move forward with the final plating process.
Can I get a motion approving Council Bill number 2023-035, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park Phase 2?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman Ode?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Moving on to old business. Ordinance number 1455, an ordinance approving the final plat for Forest Park 2A. Staff report, please.
All right, this is, as city administrator mentioned, final plat 2A, all the infrastructure acceptance has been done and reported on. The property owner, ESP&M Properties LLC. This was submitted by Engineering Surveys and Services. Christine Luber, Reviewing Engineer, performed the review. This is the second read of this one, and all the conditions of the previous one, from the previous meeting, have pretty much been met. The infrastructure has been inspected. The issues that were outstanding have been bonded for. So with all that being said, staff is supportive of granting approval of Forest Park Phase 2, Plat 2A.
Thank you. Any questions for staff?
So is the asphalt surface, is that consistent with what's over there? I know
Phase one is concrete.
phase one is concrete. So why the change?
It's allowable in the city code to use asphalt as well. Don't know exactly what the reason was. The reason may have been cost, but it's allowable surface. And honestly, I think it looks pretty nice.
Does it hold up better than concrete? or vice versa?
It's not uncommon in other municipalities, especially in the Chicago area. They do a lot of asphalt. In other big cities, they do a lot of asphalt. I know in Missouri, there's a lot of concrete, so that's what people are used to. That's all they have.
Any other questions for staff? Can I get a motion approving ordinance number 1455, an ordinance approving the final plat for Forest Park 2A?
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Ode?
Aye.
And Alderman Plank.
Nay.
Ordinance number 14, well, we don't have four. We do have four.
Yeah, you have 4 affirmative on that. so-
Motion carried, yeah, sorry. Ordinance number 1456, an ordinance approving Liberty Square subdivision plat. Staff report, please.
All right, this is the second read, due to the fact that it is a subdivision, though it's a minor subdivision, no change from the previous report.
Okay. Any questions for staff on ordinance number 1456?
I have a question. Previously, the easement for the roadway was in between the two lots? No?
No, so it had an access easement for CL Richardson on the very east side of the property at the front 63. The city had a sewer easement access on the west side. We actually somewhat abandoned that years ago, and we put a fence around the back side of the sewer plant. So they'll be removing that driveway easement as well as part of their action tonight.
Okay.
So the access will be right down the middle of those
Between the two
parcels.
lots that are being subdivided.
Is it straight across the Liberty line?
Correct. Liberty, straight back to CL, north to south.
Can I get a motion approving ordinance number 1456 and ordinance approving Liberty Square subdivision plat?
So moved.
Have a second?
A second.
Alderman Blank?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Ordinance number 1457, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park plat, or phase 1, sorry.
So again, just second read, we're accepting water and sewer, we're bonding for streets and stormwater.
Any questions, any further questions? Can I get a motion approving ordinance number 1457, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park phase 1?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
And Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1458, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park phase 2.
Second read, we're accepting all infrastructure in phase 2A, since it is just a little compact, small portion of the larger plat.
Can I have a motion to approve ordinance number 1458, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a subdivision warranty agreement for Forest Park phase 2?
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Moving on to new business. A resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds to certain accounts within fiscal year 2024 budget.
Mr. Mayor, the city of Ashland is entering in the mid-year for the fiscal '24 budget. The budget amendments proposed are a reflection of the trends for this fiscal year regarding revenues as well as revenues projected to be collected during after October 23. Additionally, proposed expense adjustments for additional expenditures in fiscal year 23 audit and service agreements. In administration, due to the pooling of our cash this fiscal year, we're seeing an excellent return on our sweep. Should our account balance remain steady, the return will remain consistent. The law enforcement street tax collection begins in October. Initially, no budget was proposed based on what is projected. I proposed an amendment for the new revenue stream is included. Proposed amendments for expenses include an increase in the cost of the audit. This is due to having the auditor present the budget or present the audit to the board, which is an additional expense not included in our contract. An adjustment to permits due to refunds of overpaid permits, an increase in police service agreements, and additional Axon capabilities, a Boone County record management contract, and a reduction of expenses for police vehicle maintenance and repair to attempt to offset the above. For parks, the proposed revenue increase due to revenues received in for the LWCF grant. Streets, initially no budget proposed for the law enforcement street collection, which begins in October based on what is projected. A proposed amendment for the new revenue stream is included. In water, due to the pooling of our cash this fiscal year, we are seeing an excellent return on the sweep. Water receives a portion of this interest. Should our account balance as a whole remain steady, the return will remain consistent. Proposed adjustments to primacy fee as residential and commercial connections continue to grow. So does the city's responsibility to collect and return those fees to DNR. And revenue expense and the revenue and expense lines need adjusting accordingly. For sewer, due to pooling of cash this fiscal year, we're seeing an excellent return again on the sweep. Sewer receives a portion of this interest. Should our account balance as a whole remain steady, the return will remain consistent. The fiscal impact is this mid-year adjustments keep our budget balanced as reported by the auditors. The city wants to continue to keep good financial standing and adequate fund balances. Staff recommends passing the resolution.
Any questions for staff? No? I need a motion approving a resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds to certain accounts within the fiscal year 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
And Alderman Plant.
Aye.
Moving on, a resolution regarding the site plan for Liberty Square. Staff report, please.
All right, this is a request for approval of a commercial site plan. The property owner is Lock and Powers. The submitting firm is Engineering Surveys and Services. Christina Lubert of Lubert Engineering performing the review. Subject site is approximately 9.07 acres, and this is for lot 1 of the 2. This parcel is on the south side of East Liberty Lane, just west of 63, which is the previously discussed subdivision. Last year, city staff met with Mr. Powers to discuss a potential plan for this parcel. This proposed site plan is for lot 1 and will consume approximately 4.89 acres, being the west half of the current 9-acre parcel. The eastern half, which will be lot 2, will not be developed at this time. There will be 4 9,600 square feet red iron shell structures that will be built to suit. The buildings themselves will be 60 feet wide and 160 feet long. The height will be 21 feet on the high side, sloping down to 16 feet on the low. These buildings will be similar in appearance to the ones directly across the street and on Commerce Drive. The north-south roadway on the east side of the site will be a private drive. This drive will be the access point to the Richardson property to the south. It was determined that since there is only one parcel to the south needing access, it would not be necessary or desired to make it a public street. There's an existing sidewalk along East Liberty Lane that will remain. Stormwater detention will be handled by an off-site basin to the south on the Richardson property. As part of this development, the access easement on the west side has been vacated. However, the sewer easement remains. Site access will be handled by 3 entrances on the north side. A need for a traffic study was discussed with the owner and his engineers. All parties involved were in agreement that one building would not adversely affect traffic on Liberty. However, before any further building permits could be issued, a traffic study would need to be done. So after careful consideration, much deliberation, staff recommends approval of the submitted site plan with the condition that buildings 1, 2, and 4 cannot be issued a permit for construction until a traffic impact study has been received, reviewed, and approved by the city engineer. And this was the recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Commission on October 10th.
Any questions for staff? None? All right, I get a motion to approve a resolution regarding the site plan for Liberty Square.
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Alderman Plant?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Moving on, a resolution regarding the site plan for Settler Suite. Staff report, please.
All right, this is a request for approval of a commercial site plan. The owner is CCS Property Management LLC, and the submitting firm is Simon & Strumpf Engineering Incorporated. Christina Lubert of Lubert Engineering performed the review on behalf of the city. This subject property is lot 66 of Setter's Knoll Plat 3 and sits at the northwest corner of Silver Snipe Street and East Route Y. This parcel is approximately 1.66 acres in size. The zoning classification is CG. This site plan is for a white box shell tenant infill center consisting of potentially 10 build-to-suit suites. There will be 9,793 square feet available for office retail and 2,000 anticipated for restaurant space. Parking lot consists of 70 parking spaces, including 6 ADA compliant spaces. Silver Snipe will provide both ingress and egress. There will be a possible drive-through on the east side of the building, but with it not intended for restaurant use, a queue line should not be a concern. Stormwater detention will be on the west end of the site. Trash disposal will be on the north side of the building, and the northern drive is intended for that purpose, along with being the exit for the drive-through. A meeting is yet to be set up with the owner about the sidewalks, the potential sidewalks on the site. It was city's intention that it would be bonded for, but the owner can put in the sidewalk cheaper, but without any connectivity, you know, we need to have discussions about what could be done and maybe with adjoining owners to continue, for continuation of the site. So, after careful consideration, staff recommends approval of the submitted site plan as it appears to have met the intended requirements of the city code, and this was recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission on October 10th.
Questions for staff? You said sidewalk, you're talking about from Silver Snipe to Industrial?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Correct.
So what happens if we approve it tonight and you have discussions about the sidewalks and that wasn't all nailed down before we approved it and they refused to put them in?
He wants to put it in, we wanted him to bond.
Right.
So,
Okay,
So
I guess that's what.
it'll be in the agreement period.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
All right. One other thing, we look at our, naming our streets. Silver Snipe.
She's left to the developer.
I know.
What street name in town?
I get a motion approving a resolution regarding the site plan for Settlers Suite.
So moved.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Moving on, a resolution regarding the site plan for 200 North Main Street.
All right. This is a request for approval of another commercial site plan. The owner is Four Walls Real Estate. The owner is Four Walls Real Estate LLC, and the submitting firm is Crockett Engineering Consultants. Christina Lubert of Lubert Engineering performed the review on behalf of the city. The subject property is the west half of Lot 16 of the Gaze Addition subdivision. This parcel is at the northeast corner of North Main Street and Redbud Lane. This parcel is approximately 0.16 acres in size. Zoning classification is CG. This parcel has changed ownership many times in the past 15 years, including ownership by the city of Ashland. For those unaware, Ashland Family Counseling was an occupant of the recently demolished building on the corner of Redbud and North Henry Clay to become Boone Corner. Ben Wall, the proprietor of Ashland Family Counseling, reached out to staff earlier this year, searching for a new home for his office. He did a lot of searching before finally settling on this property. The intended purpose for this site is for an 800 square foot office. Being that this is zone CG and the adjacent properties to the north and east are zoned residential R2, this seems to be a good use of the property. There is an existing sidewalk on the west side of the property along South Main. And as you can see from the site plan, the driveway will also double as a parking lot. The owner desires to have 5 parking spaces, including the one required ADA space. Since the building is 800 net square feet, he is only required to have 4 total. Adding the 5th parking space exceeds the allowable 40-foot width for a commercial drive for Chapter 12 of our code. So with this being the case, the owner has applied for a variance to allow for the additional parking, and that meeting will be this Thursday for that variance hearing. So after careful consideration, staff recommends approval of the submitted site plan with the condition that the 5th parking space not be approved, as it is in violation of Chapter 12 of the City Code. As stated earlier, this is already scheduled for the Board of Adjustment hearing this Thursday, and this was recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission as proposed on October 10th.
Any questions for staff?
So if we approve it and the variance gets denied, that leaves 4 parking spaces. One of them is still ADA, correct?
That is correct.
Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion approving a resolution regarding the site plan for 200 North Main Street?
So moved.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Alderman Holt.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
A resolution regarding the site plan for O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Okay. Last one.
Staff report.
This is a request for another commercial site plan for a retail auto parts store. The owner of the property is Corey Myers Construction, and the submitting firm is OWN, OWN Incorporated, formerly Anderson Engineering. acting on behalf of O'Reilly's Automotive. Christina Lubert of Lubert Engineering reviewed the site plan on behalf of the city. This parcel is lot 14A and is approximately 1.05 acres in size. This parcel is on the southeast corner of Route Y, known as East Broadway, and Industrial Drive. Zoning classification is CG. The site plan is for an automotive parts retail store, approximately 7,225 square feet in size. A traffic impact analysis was conducted in June by OWN Incorporated on behalf of the project. The proposed site is accessed via Industrial Drive and an access easement on the shared lot line between lots 13 and 14. This easement will also serve as access to lot 14B to the east, as MoDOT will not allow access from Route Y. Stormwater detention will be handled by an underground storage system. There will be a public walk installed on the west and north side perimeters. There was much deliberation about the best location for the ADA landing / crossing to be for Route Y to the north. It was decided that crossing through the roundabout at the same location as the one to the west going to the break time would make the most sense. With no current connectivity to the north, it was determined not to strike the intersection for that ADA with the intention to discourage its use. After careful consideration, staff recommends approval of the proposed site plan as it appears to have met the requirements of the city code. The Planning and Zoning Commission approved this site plan on October 10th.
Any questions for staff? Can I get a motion approving a resolution regarding the site plan for O'Reilly Auto Parts, please?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on to a resolution authorizing the purchase of Justin Lane Pump Station. Staff report, please.
Mr. Creel is at a conference. Long and short of his report that is in your packet, we had a pump that was identified at the Justin Lift Station that was not working properly. Upon initial inspection by city staff, they identified a variety of parts that are broken or worn out on this pump. It's a 25-year-old pump. James is of the opinion the most cost-effective option to the city is to just fully replace that pump. So before you have a quote for $11,461 to approve the purchase of a replacement pump. Comes with a 5-year warranty. This is a sole source item, so no competitive bidding was obtainable as part of this. This is being budgeted out of his current sewer budget capital expenditures.
Any questions for staff? No? I get a motion to approve resolution authorizing the purchase of Justin Lane Pump Station.
I'll make the motion.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
And Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Moving on. A resolution accepting the corporate security bond from P&M Properties LLC for Forest Park Plat 1.
We haven't done this in a while, but we do have a bond for that outstanding infrastructure on phase 1 that is yet to be completed in the tune of $25,000. That was a discussion between city staff and the developer on an appropriate cost for the various items that are on there. He's got one section of street that needs some work and some stormwater infrastructure that needs to be cleaned out and or some pipes raised that have settled. We feel that that dollar amount is sufficient, and as stated earlier in the meeting, the developer is working diligently to approve or remediate these items for us so that we can approve and accept the stormwater infrastructure and the street infrastructure.
Any questions for staff? I get a motion approving resolution accepting the corporate security bond from P&M Properties LLC for Forest Park Plat 1.
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Moving on to reports. Mine will be short and sweet. Had a young lady complain about faded street signs. One of them was Collins Court in summertime. I know we have several across the city that we need to look at, stuff like that. Any update on striping on Main Street?
I don't believe that, as of today, I don't think they've heard back from the company that they contacted, so they're still working on getting somebody to come in and do it, but that's scheduled to be performed here as quickly as we can get somebody on site to do it.
Okay, and then curb and girder project. We started getting this on that, or are we looking at that, or is that for next year?
Yes, I don't know that I can answer that one for you right now. I'll have to check on that one with James.
Okay, no problem.
I know we've kind of been tied up trying to get these street ones going as quickly as possible, so.
Sounds good. That is my report, sir. City Administrator report.
I have nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. City Attorney report.
I told you all last time there were 11 applicants for micro marijuana dispensary businesses in Ashland. They had a lottery, none of the 11 got them. That's not surprising. There's only 8 per congressional district, but none of the 11 applicants received them. That's it.
Thanks, sir. Public Works Director's monthly report.
I believe you got it in your packet.
Any questions on that? No? Community Development Director's report.
If anybody has any questions about my report that was in the back,
How's Domino's coming?
it's coming along. I think they'll hit the deadline. They plan on opening in December.
Really? Good. Any questions for staff? Moving on to Board of Aldermen. Alderman Plank. No report. Alderman Old.
No report.
Alderman Bell.
No report.
Alderman Wilson.
No report.
And Alderman Lewis. No report. All right. Moving on. Moving on to general comments by the public, for aldermen and staff. Any questions, comments? Nope. All right. Moving on. Can I get a motion to go into closed session to discuss Missouri statute chapter 610.021, article 3 and 1.
I'll make a motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Alderman Plank. Aye. Alderman Old.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Let's go for a second.
Right.
Now we're back in open session. Todd Smith, would you like to report?
As a result of our discussion in closed session, I have prepared for the board a resolution. That resolution reduces the salary of our police chief, Gabe Edwards, by 50%. I would recommend the board pass that tonight. That's of your prerogative.
Can I get a motion to approve the resolution reducing Gabe Edwards' salary?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Blank?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, sir. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Cheers.